Hello friends, welcome to this session, and in this session we will discuss some more concepts from the national income. So we have already seen the 5 different lectures on the national income. This is the 6th lecture. So what will be the coverage of this lecture? Let us see. We will discuss the concept of base year as far as GDP is concerned, the concept of constant versus the real GDP deflator, items which are not included in the GDP, what are the limitations of GDP, the GDP and its relation with the welfare, green GDP, history of national income in India, right? And in the next slide, in the next session basically, we will discuss the previous year questions also, right? So first we will start with the base year, nominal GDP and the real GDP, right? So to understand these 3 concepts, I will give you an example. So first of all, what is GDP? Gross domestic product. In simplistic manner, the GDP is the total value of all the goods and services produced in the country. This is a very simplistic or commonsensical meaning of the GDP, right? So this is the value of all the goods and services produced in the country. Now, how do we calculate this value? Can we say the value means the quantity multiply the price, right? Or the total quantity of goods and services produced in the country multiplied by their prices, that is the value of all the goods and services, and that value is nothing but the GDP, right? So I hope that this simplistic concept is very clear to you. Now let us take an example, right? For example, in a country, India, in 2011-12, in the year 2011-12, the total quantity production was 100 units and the price of these 100 units was 100 rupees per unit. This is the price, right? So 100 quantity and 100 price, that means how much is the value of GDP? The GDP value will be 100 multiplied by 100 is equal to 10,000 rupees. Can we say that? Yes, we can definitely say that. The value of GDP in India is 10,000 rupees. Now, in the next year, say in 2012-13, the quantity is 90 and the price in 2012-13 is 120 rupees per unit. The quantity is 90 and the price is 120 rupees per unit. That means the GDP value will be 90 into 120. That is how much? Rupees 10,800. Now please tell me, the GDP value was 10,000 rupees in 11-12 and the GDP value is 10,800 rupees in 12-13. Isn't it clearly indicating that there is increase in the GDP? There is growth in the GDP? Yes, it is very much clearly indicating the same thing, that there is a growth in the GDP, there is increment in the production. However, if we really see the quantity in 2011-12 was 100, the production was 100, in 12-13 this production is 90. So the production has come down from 100 to 90, that is by 10 units. So the production has actually been coming down from 100 units to 90 units, that is by 10 unit. So there is 10% decline in the production, right? But still, why here it looks like there is increment in the GDP? This contradiction is there because here the price of the current year is 120 and the price of the previous year is 100 rupees. So just increase in the price, is distorting the picture of GDP. Increase in the price. What is the meaning of increase in the price? Increase in the price means inflation. So this inflation from 100 rupees to 120 rupees per unit is actually giving a wrong picture of the GDP. So what will be the correct picture? If we see in 12-13, the real GDP will be 90 units and the price of previous year, that is 100 rupees. We will take the price of previous year to which we are comparing, the year to which we are comparing the GDP. So here this value comes 9,000 rupees. Now if we compare 9,000 rupees of the current year with the 10,000 rupees of the previous year, now very clearly we can see that there is a decline in the GDP, and which is true. So overall this inflation adjusted amount or the price of the base year is reflecting the real or the accurate GDP, right? It is accurately showing that actually there is a decline in the production in the economy rather than increase. So we really need to take this base price, this price of the last year or a particular year in which we which we are taking as a base. So this 100 rupees, the price of the base year, this is called the base price, and the 11-12, this will be called as the base year, right? So 100 rupees will be the base price because this is the price of the base year, and this will be the base year, or this is also called as the reference year. This base price is also called as the reference price. This base price is also called as the reference price. This 9,000 rupees is called the real GDP, the GDP value which is adjusted by the inflation. So we are eliminating the impact of the inflation. We are neutralizing the impact of the inflation from the value of GDP. That value is called real GDP. And this 10,800 rupees, this is called nominal GDP. This is called nominal GDP. So this nominal GDP is actually showing the value of GDP at the current year price, which is inflated price. So this nominal GDP is showing the price at the current year price. This real GDP is showing the price at the base year price or at the reference year price, right? This is the difference between the nominal GDP and the real GDP. In newspapers, in economic survey, we will find both of them. Right? So we really need to take care, we really need to be attentive that which figure we are talking about, right? Now let us see all these things in language. So base year, nominal GDP and real GDP. This is another example I have given. I have discussed in the previous example very clearly, but again if you want more clarity, you can go through this example by pausing the video, right? Now base year. What is the purpose of base year? The purpose of base year is to calculate and compare the national income of various years. So in our example, we took the base year of 11-12 so that we can compare the national income in 12-13, 13-14 and so on till now. And the national income is calculated with reference to a particular year. So we will take the price of a particular year so that we can eliminate the impact of the inflation, and that particular is called base year. That is called the base year. The price of this year, the price of the base year is called the constant price. So rupees 100 in our example, and this base year in our example was 11-12. National income at constant price, right? Or this is also called as the real income, or this is also called as the real GDP. Real income, real GDP, or national income at constant price, all of them mean the same thing. So this basically means GDP measurement at the fixed prices, or the base prices, or the constant prices, right? The price which are prevalent at some point of time in the past, that is in the base year or reference, base year price or reference price or constant price. Real GDP is considered a true indicator of country's economic growth. So this is actually showing the growth. In our example, the real growth was actually negative 10%. It was not a upward growth from 10,000 to 10,800. It was not true. What was true was from 10,000 rupees to 9,000 rupees. So real GDP is considered as a true indicator of country's economic growth because it exclusively considers the rise in the production. So it takes care of the production. So earlier it was 100 units and now this is 90 units. So it takes care that okay, there is a decline. There is no growth in the production. So this production is actually declining. So how can we say that GDP is increasing? As the reason for increase in GDP. National income at current price, or this is also called as the nominal income, or this is also called as the nominal GDP, right? Now what does this mean? So it is the monetary value of the economic output produced during the current year and the current price. Simple, this is the current quantity multiplied by the current price. This is very simple. The current year quantity multiplied by the current year price. Nominal GDP is current production of goods and services multiplied by the current prices. In case of real GDP, this is the current production multiplied by the base prices, right? So here we can see the example is in current prices versus the base prices. This is the difference, right? What is the base year in India? So in India, earlier the base year was 2004-05. Now this base year has been changed from 2015 and now the base year is 2011-12, right? So our GDP figure is calculated based upon the base year of 2011-12, and now we are also discussing further to update it further to 2017-18. So discussions are going on. We will discuss this separately as part of the current affairs news. GDP deflator, right? So what is deflator? Deflator is something which actually indicates the inflation impact or inflation factor, right? So we just discussed the concept of nominal GDP and the real GDP, right? So this nominal GDP is inflated value and real GDP is non-inflated value. Can we say that? Yes, we can very well say that, right? So this nominal GDP and real GDP, the difference between the two is because of the inflation. This relationship between the nominal GDP and real GDP is indicated by the GDP deflator. So when we divide the nominal GDP by the real GDP, we get the GDP deflator. So GDP deflator is actually nothing but it is showing the overall rise in the prices of goods and services in the country. So this is actually indicating the overall inflation. As I already said, it indicates the inflation factor in the GDP, right? So GDP deflator is nothing but overall rise in the prices of goods and services in the country over a period of time. So when we see at the consumer level, that is CPI, the concept that we already discussed in the inflation chapter. When we see at the wholesale level, and that consumer level or wholesale level, that is seen for a particular basket of goods. That is not seen for all the goods. There are selected number of goods for which we calculate the consumer price index or wholesale price index, right? But GDP deflator is for all the goods. There is no basket of goods. Rather, it considers all the goods. This is the very crucial aspect we have to consider in the GDP deflator. So, GDP deflator, or this is also called as the price deflator, right, is a measure of level of prices of all domestically produced. All, the crucial thing is this is considering all domestically produced. It does not consider the imported goods and services, right? So it does not consider the imported goods and services. When I say all, it means there is no concept of basket. There is no concept of basket in the GDP deflator. Final goods and services in an economy in a particular period of time. This is calculated to find the overall rise in the level of prices. And how do we calculate it? We calculate it by dividing the nominal GDP by the real GDP. This is how we calculate the GDP deflator. This is the formula. The nominal GDP divided by the real GDP multiplied by the 100, and that is how we calculate the GDP deflator. This is the example. Here we can see the GDP deflator is 100 here. Here this is 111. Here 116. Here we have 107. Then we have 102. 109, and this is the percentage of inflation. So we can also calculate the inflation with the help of the GDP deflator. But there is some difference between the GDP deflator and the CPI or WPI. So friends, I am assuming that you have already gone through my lecture series on the inflation. In the lecture series of inflation, I already discussed the concept of CPI and WPI in detail. And in fact, I also discussed this differentiation between the GDP deflator versus the CPI versus WPI. But still, I am revising that concept here so that the things become more clear to you and you are able to revise the same thing again and again. The concepts are ingrained in your mind to a very deep level. That is my commitment. So, in the GDP deflator, so this is the GDP. C means consumer price index, consumer, P means price, I means index, W means wholesale, right? So first of all, GDP actually talks about all the goods and services. This consumer goods or wholesale price is talking about a basket of goods and services. This consumer price index is considering those goods which are consumed by the consumers, and wholesale price is considering those goods which are sold at the wholesale level, and there is a limited number of goods. It is not applicable to all the goods because practically it will not be possible to calculate the prices of all the goods. Therefore, this GDP deflator is different from the CPI and WPI. This is the first difference. Secondly, this is about the gross domestic production. Gross and domestic production. So it considers only domestic production, but the consumer price, the consumer can also buy from outside India. So consumer can buy from domestic or consumer can buy from outside India. So this consumer price index or wholesale price index is considers both domestic and the imported goods. So it considers both domestic goods and the imported goods. Third, in the CPI or WPI, there is a fixed weightage given to the particular items of goods and services. So certain items are having more weightage in the calculation because they are consumed more, and certain items are given less weightage because they are consumed or sold at the low level. But in case of GDP, it actually takes care of actual production. So the weight here is fixed, but here it is taking the actual basis. There is no fixed weightage that is given, rather it is the actual weightage or actual production that is taken care of. These are the difference between the GDP deflator and the CPI versus WPI. So all these points have been given in the language. Even in your PDF notes, I have given this. Here again we can see GDP deflator, it considers all the goods and services. Here it considers the goods and services brought by the consumers only. GDP deflator, it includes only domestically produced goods and services, only domestically produced. And CPI, it includes all the goods and services, right? So it includes the imported goods and services. GDP deflator, it assigns the changing weights. So because it is taken at the actual level, so the weights may be changing. But CPI, there is a fixed weight as per the formula. Here we can see in this diagram, this indicates CPI, this indicates deflator, and this indicates WPI, right? So you can just see the behavior that this GDP deflator is actually in between the CPI and WPI, right? So just to show you the difference, however, nothing special in this slide, you can ignore it also. Now, very important thing. What are the items which are not included in the national income? So this thing we never discussed, but now we will see. So I am giving you 1 minute to think about this. So what are all those items which are not included in the national income calculation? So can you please identify? So you take 1 minute and then we will start the discussion. So, what are the items which are not included in the national income? Let us see. First of all, we don't include the intermediate goods, right? So, whenever we see the definition of GDP, we always say final goods and services, right? We don't say intermediate. Why we don't include intermediate? Because if we include the intermediate goods, that will actually mean the duplication of calculation, right? So that will actually mean duplication in the calculation. So to avoid the duplication, we exclude the intermediate goods, right? For example, if we have to if we consider for example one computer system, right? Desktop computer system. So we will take the value of final desktop system in the GDP, but we will not take those products, the plastic, the chips, the glass, the wire that is used in the production of that particular desktop computer system. Because if we consider wire, plastic, glass, again, that will actually mean the duplication of calculation, because in the total value of desktop computer system, the value of wire, plastic, glass has already been included. So why to duplicate? If we duplicate, then that will be inaccurate calculation of GDP, right? So I hope this concept is very clear to you, that intermediate goods calculation is not considered in the calculation of GDP. Then second, transfer payment. We don't consider transfer payment. So transfer payment, those payment which are made without expectation. For example, gift. For example, unemployment allowance. For example, donations. So these transfers are just change in the pocket of one person to another person. Gift means the money is going from my pocket to your pocket. Unemployment allowance means the money is going from the pocket of government to the pocket of unemployed person. Donation means the money is going from the pocket of a worshipper into the pocket of temple. So there is just change in the location of money. There is no production happening. There is no production activity happening. It is not the primary income. It is a transfer payment. That is why we don't include this transfer payment in the GDP. So in your examination, there can be the multiple choice question where they can ask whether the donation given by one person to the temple is part of the GDP or not. It is not the part of GDP. Whether the gift given by your friend on your marriage is a part of the GDP or not. That is your income. But actually there is no production happening. In the country, if we see at the overall level, there is no production happening. There is no growth happening. It is just shift of income from your friend to you. Third, the sale and purchase of old goods. Old goods may be old house, old car, old computer system. So the sale of second-hand goods, that is not part of the calculation of national income. And why not? Because there is no production happening. It is just shift of the goods from one place to another place. There is no value addition. Value addition has to be there. Some production activity has to be there. And yes, during the sale and purchase of old goods and services, there is a possibility that some brokerage or commission amount is involved, because the person, the commission dealer, the broker, he or she is providing his services. So that part of the value will be considered in the GDP. So you have to be very careful. This brokerage or commission of dealers, this is included. This brokerage or commission of the dealers is included, right? Sale and purchase of old goods and existing services, shares are not included unless they are through an IPO, right? So shares, simply sale purchase of shares is basically nothing but the existing services. But if we talk about IPO means initial